Welcome back to New York City Gardener. I'm Nastasha. I want to really work on my raspberry plants today. The canes that grew last year that have berries all over them, they're looking a bit sad. I think that they need some compost. I've already given them some fertilizer, and I know they tend to look kind of sad the second year. I think all the energy is going to the fruit production, but I want to add some compost just to see if that helps them at all. It's definitely the saddest looking plant on my terrace, and it's like the most exciting right now as far as production. So I want to try to improve it a little bit. I think that will help. I also have all my hydroponics that I was growing over the winter, and these are the 3 remaining that are still alive. I do also have an arugula, but it's going to get too hot for the arugula, so I'm going to let that one go. But we have 2 basils and we have 1 tomato. So I thought it would be fun to just try to plant these. I think I may put them all 3 in their own little container. So if there's any disease within these roots, I'm not spreading it to the rest of my garden. So I'm going to try that. I think that'd be fun. Instead of just throwing them away, I'm just going to experiment to see if I can get them to keep growing. I have 12 tomato plants all over this garden. I have tons of basil, so I don't really need these plants, but I just thought it'd be a fun experiment. I also need to do a little bit more work on my watering system. I am having a lot of regrets around that. I wish I had done that in April. And then I have some plants that are going to seed. I have more arugula going to seed, lettuce, just different things that I want to go ahead and get them out of the garden so that I can start making way for the next round of crops. So let's get going. I have some compost left from when I got compost from New York Restoration Project. I did buy more compost today because it's Amazon Prime Day. I bought a bunch of things. Azomite, some worm castings, compost. Just thought this is probably a good time to do it. So I'm just gonna add it to the bottom. Hopefully this helps them out a little bit so they'll keep making raspberries for me and also look a little bit more aesthetic because these leaves are just like struggling. So I'm just gonna add it to the top of everything and then I'll water it in really well. I already gave them fertilizer, I guess a couple of weeks ago. So I'm sure that's working its way in. But I think the compost will be good because it'll add a lot of nice microbiotic material. So you got to be careful with raspberries because they have thorns. And man, they do not like being touched. They keep scratching me. But I'm trying to help you. It's like a cat, you know. You pet them, you get them too excited, and then they scratch you. And you're like, I'm trying to make you feel good. All right, so I added a nice layer. We're going to water it in, and I think that will really help it. And then I did the same thing over here. But you can see the difference between the new canes, how lush and green they are, and the old canes that have berries on them. Some of them are drying up, but I think this compost will help them. And then you can also see that my little connectors are falling off. Just had so much wind, it's just getting out of control. So I'm gonna try to fix that a little bit more. So I use these hooks here, and I'm just going to try to get them to hold on to each other. I did lift this up a little bit, and I think that's helping it already be a little bit more straight up in a circle like I want, but I want to try to get them all kind of connected together. So for example, I kind of want these 2 to go together. So I'm going to see if I can connect. Can't connect them all because the hook's not that big. Maybe I can connect like 1 or 2. Now what I would like is all of these new canes. I want to start training them to go in the circle. Like that. So start connecting them down here so they can start growing up and go in the circle. I didn't do that last year and I wish I had done it because they just got too out of control. So I'm just gonna start training it now. And then as they grow, they'll start going in that circle. Ooh, getting good at this. So it's starting to look better. What I did is I took that one little stake I have and I put it in this pepper pot down here. My pepper is just getting like destroyed by the raspberries. I do have 1 pepper here that is hanging on, but this plant is definitely maturing much slower than the rest of them, I think because the raspberries was just like taking over the space and the light to where it's still kind of that circle. And then once I did that, these guys disconnected, so I'm going to try to connect them again. I want to tackle this grow bag because you can see on this grow bag there's something growing on it. It might be a fungus or something like that. And this is a bag I've had for many years, so I want to get rid of this. Let's go ahead and harvest everything that's left, and then I'm going to take the soil and do something else with it. I just tasted this lettuce and it's very bitter because it's going to seed, so I'm just going to let it go. so I can let this one go. I still have a little bit of lettuce that's still growing, but it is going to be too hot for it pretty soon. I'm going to use this soil to transplant the hydroponics that I was talking about earlier. And then I'll amend it with some compost. Okay, now it looks like we just have a bunch of Johnny jump ups. Maybe I'll put them in the container I'm going to be putting all this hydroponics in. Ooh. Couple of bugs, but nothing crazy. Soil type bugs. I have no idea what this is. This was in my soil. So it's an onion, just peeling off the layers, and it's a little onion inside. So we can harvest this. I guess I had planted onions in there and I forgot about them. Now my plan is to use one of these IKEA trash cans. And also, side note, I have seen on so many videos how where you can take a mosquito dunk and put it into a container of water, and it's a way of preventing mosquitoes. So I've never done that before, so this is my first year. We'll see how we do. So far, I have not seen a mosquito out here, so send me good vibes. This one already has holes in the bottom, so I'm gonna go ahead and use this one. So the first thing I'm gonna do is just pour this soil in here. Found another something. Here we have a little random shallot, maybe? Oops. I was trying to make a mess and then I make a mess. I think I'm gonna do about half of this soil. So we've got these glass bottles. We're gonna have 2 basil, 1 tomato. Definitely just an experiment. I have no idea if this is gonna work. But I gotta say the roots look pretty good. I'm not even gonna lie, like the roots look great. Whoa. Let's see if this comes out. Okay. Man, they actually look pretty good. So here are our roots. There's a little green here, a little algae, nothing terrible. There's a little black here. Maybe I'll cut that off. Maybe I'll cut the algae off, but healthy root system. I mean, overall, those look pretty good. So I'm just gonna cut a little bit of it off. Okay, send us good vibes. I'm gonna put the basil on the sides, put the tomato in the middle. And then this tomato, I think, is still alive. I'm gonna try to bury this as far down as I can. Take all the leaves off because leaves do not look good. I don't have any fertilizer right now, but I do have some coming because I bought like $200 worth of stuff on Amazon Prime Day. So I have stuff coming. So we can add the fertilizer later. So as you always know from my videos, you can plant the tomato all the way up here. So I'm gonna try to plant all the way down. So here's where we are. Plan is to plant the tomato all the way up here. The basil can go all the way up here. It can even go a little bit higher. We have the other basil here. This is the soil that I got at Home Depot. It's organic. I'll link it down below if you want to check out what I buy. It's called Kellogg. I tend to stay away from Miracle-Gro because I'm sure you've heard, they're maybe not the most integrous company. Kellogg may not be the most integrous company either, but I've never heard anything about them, so I'm just kind of trusting it. I have heard stuff about Miracle-Gro, so it's my own little way of fighting the system. But I like this potting mix. I've always had great success with it. I went ahead and added a bottom tray just to collect any water. And then we're gonna put it right here. I have an extra emitter, so we're gonna put that in here as well. Because as you know, the basil and tomatoes are gonna need a lot of water. So I think this will be a really fun experiment to see how it works. And also I have a little bit of this compost left. So why don't we use that to top it off? Some of the compost that I got at the Restoration Project for free. Just had to pay for the subway to get there and back. Not bad. It's a big deal to me. And I got to hang out with a friend too. My friend went with me. So it was cool to hang out with him while I was also getting free stuff. Just had a little bit left. So I was thinking, what if I added compost to the top of this? This is where I planted the zucchini seeds. So I was just thinking I probably should add some nutrients to the soil, even though it did just end with peas. But why not just use the rest of it? I have more compost coming. Okay, so I do have my mulch in here, the green mulch that I harvested from my garden, but we're just gonna put this on top. Finish it off. Yeah, bring on the zucchinis. I'm ready. Zucchini freaky. That sounds good right about now. Actually, I changed my mind. I have all of these tomato seedlings that I still need to add soil to, like all of these. So I think I'm going to use this older soil because these plants are going to be given away anyway. So it's just temporary soil, temporary pots. Wow, I'm really glad I got that done because I've been meaning to do this for a while and it wasn't on my to-do list today, but it's all done now. They all have enough soil to get them through until I'm ready to give them away. And then what's great about this container that they're all in is it has a way of preventing it from draining out. So I watered the heck out of everything and you can see there's some water down there. So that's great because they should all have self-watering wicking systems. So they should be able to soak up whatever extra they need. And then we have some little peppers growing. We have tomatoes growing. That's very exciting. And then we still have all of these tomatoes over here. We got another tomato. Very cool. Olive tree. What? Oh my God, could that be future olives? Maybe. Anyway, I think that's enough for today. So if you have any questions, feel free to comment below. Everything will be in the description, and I'll see you guys on the next one.